The ultimate measure of a man or woman is not where they stand at times of comfort and convenience, but where they stand at times of challenge and controversy. That quote from Martin Luther King is perhaps a really good place to start in summing up the last year for all of us here at college. I'm delighted and grateful to members of the Upper Sixth, to whom we would normally have dedicated our speech day, for agreeing to help me look back at what has been a fantastic year, even though it has ended, of course, in an unexpected and probably challenging way.
It has been a year filled with academic achievements, sporting triumph, musical creativity, stunning theatre productions, and a lot of fun and friendships along the way. Before March 20th, when our world, alongside everyone else's, turned on its axes, we had high expectations of excellent academic results from the upper sixth and fifth form in reward for their hard work and diligence over the cold and wet winter months, of a glorious tennis and cricket season, a wonderful variety of concerts, the lower college play, and our whole school walk to raise money for the Gogar School Hall appeal.
However, for all us Cheltenians, the real essence of college would have been the fun we had, being together through these beautiful and hot sunny days, and long, balmy evenings, outside in house gardens and on college field, barbecues, house events, and just the time to be together, knowing that we had done our best. Exams, the final challenge, would be well and truly behind us.
However, it is not the time now to regret. It is the time to look back with pleasure, in remembering that we have always been creative in finding solutions to unexpected problems. We should remember having our carol service this year at St. Luke's, when an unexpected measuring shower has put our wonderful chapel out of action. We could remember probably surprising a few of our College Road neighbours by having the entire sixth form down to the service and back on that dark and frosty night in black tie. We can look back at some of the lovely events that we had. The Upper College feast that same night, the international dinner, and the Upper Sixth dinner that followed in the spring term, as wonderful chances for us to be together for one of the last times. Though we are determined it won't be the last time, we will definitely be meeting again.
Of course, we have all had to be creative in replacing normality this summer term, and I know that we have all done our best to make the most of time at home instead. Lessons online, mastering Microsoft Teams, tutor group get-togethers, Zoom family quiz, Strava competitions, recording congas in our bedrooms, and generally trying, as best as we can, to stay together whilst not being together.
We have been so hugely proud of you all, Cheltenham College, both pupils and staff, for the resilience, energy and enthusiasm that you have shown over these last 3 months. We have learned a lot about ourselves and each other.
We have seen and understood the value in the simplest things. We've learnt skills we never thought we could have mastered. We've worked to be present and value kindness, friendship, and above all our families, for the support we might well, just a few months ago, have taken for granted.
We hope that as you watch this, still at home with parents and siblings, wherever you are across the world, you will look around you and be thankful for what you have and not for what we have lost.
Our OCs have been very present in our minds this term. Thinking back to some of the glorious things we've done, including the Burns night dinner way back in January. There are some happy memories to sustain us, I know.
Without doubt, there is a great deal to celebrate from this year, despite last term's achievements being less easy to measure. Looking back through the events we have had, there is so much to be thankful for, not least the chance to come together as we did on the 20th of September for the whole school photograph.
With over 700 pupils, college began the year bigger than it has ever been, and the chance to capture this was a precious one, as it has marked for posterity what a wonderful community we have been and still are. We can celebrate the academic achievements of the current lower sixth, who began this new academic year with some of the best GCSE results we have had in a decade. 42% of all their grades were 8 and 9, and 20% of all grades were at level 9.
Across the year, I have been pleased to award 65 half and full academic colours to members of the 5th form, the lower and upper 6th, for hard work, determination and achievement in mock exams, reports and outstanding attitude to learning. I know that despite not having the chance to prove yourselves in the final exams this summer, upper 6th and 5th form, you will be rewarded for those long months of revision that you have already put in.
Everyone's enthusiasm for academic challenge has been supported all the way through by the wonderful teachers here at college, who have, as usual, thrown themselves into making learning more exciting, such as the chemistry spectacular and fun. Thank you all.
But no wrap-up of the college year would be complete without mention, of course, of our sports.
In the girls' hockey term, 195 girls represented the college in 120 games. 50% of these were wins for college. In the Independent School Hockey League, there were some notable performances with both the First 11 and Yearlings B, who finished as runners-up in their leagues. Both the Yearlings B and C teams won 8 of their 9 games. Another hugely successful season for the First 11 girls saw them reach the National Under-18 Cup quarterfinals, as well as securing wins over 8 out of 12 of their fixtures, including St Edward's Oxford, Clifton College, Bradfield College, Bristol Grammar School, Marlborough College and Cheltenham Ladies College, and we retained the Emily Samaria Cup. The Under-18 indoor squad were county champions and made it to the semi-finals in the West.
Moving to the boys' season, the First 11 had the marvellous opportunity of a pre-season training tour to Barcelona prior to their season, where they played against local opposition, trained in beautiful weather, as well as being able to see this vibrant city. College was able to put out 11 competitive teams across all the age groups, which included 165 boys. Of the 68 matches that were played, 40% were either won or drawn. The Junior Colts B were the leading lights within college, winning all of their 5 matches and their title. The second 11 were also competing for the top spot, where they finished a very creditable second position. In the National Cup, the First 11 made it to the second round, where the Under-16s unfortunately lost to Bromsgrove in the last 32.
The 2019-20 rugby season was one of the great successes too. The first 15 started extremely well going into half-term, having only lost 1 game, which was against Champions Trophy finalist Rugby School. They recorded impressive victories against Stowe, St Edward's, Blundell's and Marlborough, retaining the Parry Coombe Cup. The Under-16s also produced one of their performances of the season, beating an unbeaten Clifton College side with a score on the last play of the game. In lower college, there were some notable performances from the Junior Colts B and Yearlings D team, recording some close victories against Thomas Ritchie's and Stowe. With the disrupted 7 season due to weather restrictions, it was great to make 2 Under-18 tournaments, where the first 7 beat Dulwich in the third place playoff at Shiplake, having lost narrowly to Wellington College in the semi-finals. This was backed up with a fine display at the West of England Sevens, making the final. It was also fantastic this year to host our annual Skills Day, which saw 60 children from local primary schools in Gloucestershire take part in an eventful and inspiring day at college. Overall, just shy of 300 pupils took part during the autumn term, competing in 116 matches, a great achievement by all.
Over the course of the rather wet and cold spring term, the netballers played in over 60 matches, winning close to 50% of these, with a number of narrow losses across all age groups, which could have gone either way. It was great for the girls to improve their winning percentage on last year by over 10%, and we hope that this trend continues in the years ahead. Within the season, there were some fixtures that were particular highlights, including the match against Tudor Hall, losing only 2 matches across both junior and senior level, and against Malvern College, again losing only 2 matches out of the 10 played. The Yearling C team had a particularly great start to their first netball season at college, winning 5 out of their 6 games and narrowly losing to Marlborough College by 1 goal in their first fixture of the season.
Making it through the biblical winter of flooding and high winds under our new Director of Rowing, Mr Moffat's expert guidance, the extensive land training was put to good use on some amazing days on glassy and calm river. Featuring crews across all year groups, Under-14s completely new to it greatly impressed the coaching team. All crews made the most of the flexible schedule with focused sessions boating from Gloucester as well as Tewkesbury. In January at Wycliffe Head, there was a win from the Under-16 girls and Under-15 boys, and a great performance in their first race from the Under-15 girls and senior boys. Lessons learn and improvements made. As always, there were strong performances at Gloucester Head in February from under 15 boys and under 18 and under 16 girls. With schools head of the river race, Cheswick to Putney cancelled and Easter training camp off, the rowing squad had to embrace keeping fit and strong remotely. Those who had ergos shared data from pieces for motivation as well as getting into running and cycling like never before.
College rackets in both autumn and spring terms was busy and productive. Despite the national school competition in March being cancelled, both boys and girls enjoyed regular fixtures throughout the spring term with a number of pleasing victories. The girls have remained unbeaten at junior levels since Christmas and only lost once to Wellington at home after beating them away at senior level. Representation in the Ladies British Open staged at Malvern in November was better than any other school, and college secured the plate trophy. The very same feat was repeated at the World Doubles at Wellington in January. Together, with 2 runners-up trophies at the National Schools Doubles at Queen's in December, we can all be proud of their achievement.
As well as securing a runners-up medal in the senior singles at the Nationals, the boys became increasingly competitive at senior level with victories over Marlborough, Haileybury and Harrow in the spring term to complement some excellent performances in the latter part of the autumn term against St Paul's, Tonbridge and Clifton.
It's been hugely disappointing not being able to play any cricket at college this term. For the upper 6th, it's especially disappointing because we've not been able to end our college cricket careers in the way we would have liked, particularly with the weather being so amazing. This season had promised great things, with an experienced squad being joined by several younger cricketers who had been part of a successful tour to the UAE earlier last year. The winter training programme had also been a success and had been well attended by all our age groups. This summer would have also seen the continued development of the girls' cricket programme, with more fixtures and playing opportunities than in previous seasons. We were also due to host the IAPS Girls Cricket Festival for the first time. We look forward to more cricket at college in the future, both as pupils and as old Cheltonians.
In September 2019, the winter tennis programme sprung into action with many of the top tennis players at college fitting in valuable training around their winter sports practice as well as their academic and co-curricular commitments. There were many rain-soaked and windswept days out on the courts, but everyone's spirits remained high with a strong focus on improvement. Sadly, the hard work and ambition throughout the winter programme was cruelly hindered by the coronavirus this summer, and the squad wasn't able to demonstrate how much they had improved. We have no doubt that the next season we will really see the skill and potential of the current cohort of younger tennis players here at college. Well done, and thank you to everyone for committed wholeheartedly and proactively to this programme each and every year, keeping the tennis buzz alive at college.
Our musicians have been wonderfully creative this year, both before and after we were forced into lockdown. The music department has celebrated a number of successful performances, featuring students from all areas of college and at all levels of experience. It was fantastic to have house singing taking place as normal before the October half-term, and as ever, it was hotly contested. This year featured the popular addition of a staff band for the accompaniment. All houses provided superb entries, but this year's victor was College Lawn, with a lively rendition of Queen's Don't Stop Me Now.
The Choral Society's annual concert took place in Big Classical and was a stunning performance of Verdi's Requiem, with internationally renowned operatic soloists, including Cheltenham College's own Quentin Hayes. This stirring large-scale performance played and sang to a packed audience. With over 150 members of the choir, including the chapel choir, staff, parents and friends of college, together with the combined 80-piece orchestra of professionals and college's advanced instrumentalists, this was easily the largest scale performance ever seen at college. The autumn concert featured college's instrumental ensembles, the highest of which this year was the Symphony Orchestra's rendition of The Snowman, played alongside a screening of the much-loved animated film. The famous solo Walking in the Air was sung beautifully by a special member of Boyne House from the prep school. The spring term saw brilliant performances from jig and jazz band in the jazz concert, and the ever-popular singing competition had entries of a phenomenally high standard. We hope very much that there will be an opportunity to perform the music that was being prepared for the orchestral concert that ordinarily would have taken place in the final week of the spring term. But in the meantime, we have all entered a new era of virtual concerts, services and performances. And while we look forward to returning to more normal routines, we have learned a great deal and developed new skills that we will want to keep for the future.
For drama, our busy year began with a cast of 14 4th and 5th formers staging an abridged version of As You Like It as part of the National Shakespeare's Experience. In tandem with these rehearsals, we also worked on Newark and Ashmead's house play, an adaptation of Roald Dahl's The Witches. As always, the house play offered a wonderful opportunity to those who lack perhaps confidence before taking to the stage, and it was particularly pleasing to see the whole of Newark's upper sixths appearing, many of whom had never before graced the Big C stage. The autumn term ended with 2 sellout performances of the much-loved variety show, which saw its usual mix of irreverent comedy sketches, music, singing and dancing. This year's wonderful event acts as a reminder of how supportive our community is of nurturing young talent and raising money for charity. And all the £5,000 made in ticket sales went to supporting the Brodette Residential School in Romania, the Shamrock School in Nepal and Gogar Primary School in Kenya.
Our scholars' play Love and Idleness by Terence Rattigan was performed at the Cheltenham Playhouse in January. This year's production was a bit more dramatic than usual, with our leading man being struck down with mumps and having to miss the first night. However, the rest of the cast understood that the show must go on, and it is a credit to their resilience and commitment that they pulled together to perform a wonderful production with a last-minute understudy. Our final major production of the term was a rather special one, the staging of an original musical written for us by RADA student Alex Gatherer. Margaret's Mind was written specifically to ensure that as many of our talented students here at college had an opportunity to showcase their skills, and more than 50 of our students sang solo lines or had speaking roles.
Another of our favourite activities at college is getting involved in supporting the community by partnership work and raising money for charity. Over half term, it was so good to see so many of us completing our 10-kilometre walk, our mini migration, to raise £17,000 for a new school hall at Gogar in Kenya. We loved the photographic evidence that poured in of families doing this together too.
There have been many examples of individual Cheltenhamians taking the initiative to look out for others, to serve the community and to raise money for worthy charities by pushing themselves to the limit. The staff, of course, have thrown themselves in too. It was amazing to see Mr. Cutts and Mr. Late in the Design and Technology department making PPE masks all through the Easter holidays.
There is always a bittersweet moment at the end of an academic year when we say farewell, not just to members of the upper sixth and to some of the 5th form, but also to much loved and respected members of our teaching community. This year we are missing the chance to thank a number of our long-standing teachers who have put their hearts and souls into supporting us all. We are all so grateful for all they have given to college, and in some cases generations of Cheltonians. We wish them well in their new opportunities and look forward to keeping in touch with them often. They are Phoebe Aitken, Carl Cook, Henry Davis, Baron Delbrook Jones, Jeremy Dodd, Sophia Elliott, Todd Friedman, Vicky Hawkins, Hattie Hook, Ruth Kramer, Isabella Meck and Tom Wilson. We also wish Kirsty Naish and her husband all the very best of luck and happiness as she departs on maternity leave in the autumn. We cannot wait to hear news of the safe arrival of her twins when the time comes.
Being a community that looks outwards and thinks of each other before ourselves has always been a key cornerstone value of college. And now, more than ever, we see why this is so important.
We have all made the best of the challenges we have faced and have done our very best to stay positive. L'amor Armenia vincit, hard work conquers all, has certainly been our mantra, and it is wonderful to see how everyone has managed in these difficult times. We must also thank all of the support and teaching staff, as well as members of council, for their continued support in this unpredictable and difficult time.
On a personal level, I would particularly like to thank Gaurav, Charlotte, Boudica and Bryn, the heads of school and all the heads of houses and college prefects for their wonderful support and leadership this year. It has been such a pleasure to work with them.
We have all focused our attention, rightly, on how our hard-working medical and care staff have supported our communities both here and around the world. As we all know, we must be thankful for those who have given so generously of their time and their skill. Some have, as we know, paid the ultimate sacrifice.
The symbol of the rainbow is one that will now always signify this generosity of spirit to us all. Rainbows are caused when rays of light from the sun hit water droplets which reflect some of the light back towards the observer. To see a rainbow, you must have the sun shining behind you and the water droplets in front of you.
The message of this symbol is very clear, that to see this lovely thing of colour and hope, we must have the positive warmth of community behind us and the challenge ahead. Without the challenge, there is no change, and if we have learned anything from the very different final term of another academic year, it is that we can all change for the better. We can adapt, we can master new skills, and be more flexible than we ever thought we could be.
We have learned a great deal from this year, and without doubt, when next term arrives and college starts to build itself back up as a community, everyone will be stronger, kinder, more ambitious, and will see every challenge as an opportunity. With hard work, together there will be nothing that our amazing community cannot achieve. We will have the sun behind us once again.
Thank you parents, friends and supporters of college, OCs, staff and pupils for all that you have done to support us and all that you have contributed this year. Thank you.
Floreat Cheltenham.
Floreat Cheltenham. Thank you.
Floreat Cheltenham.
Floreat Cheltenham. Thank you.
Floreat Cheltenham. Thank you.